Hello, K. Jolie, Crochet Basics, and this is a preview vlog I've been doing. So this is number 22 on the vlog train, so I'm glad I'm still doing it. I thought for sure I would like kind of stop or have a reason, or like make up an excuse or something, I guess, to because it's stressful to do this, because it's letting me know how, if I'm not on the ball, like if I'm not working as quick as I normally do, which lately, since I've been doing this vlog, just everything's been so chaotic and everything in my life, really, really, truly. Anyway, not like a whole lot to say this week, I think. I always say that and then something pops in my head. But, I'm on my second Helen from the kiff or whatever, so I just wanted to do a second different way of, well, one, to double check on my pattern and stuff like that, and two, to see if I can adjust. I had a few different ways that I wanted to do the hair, so that's where I'm at with that. Last week after I did the vlog, like Thursday, well, Thursday I had the doctor, Wednesday I had the doctor, Thursday I had the doctor. It's like fabulous. But Thursday night into Friday, I was able to set up to do a video for the Talking Baby Alive, the electronic Baby Alive, the bigger one. So that I'm still working on editing it. I'm still working on editing that. I'm hoping to have that one up sometime over the weekend, I think. Oh, this weekend is Father's Day weekend, which is funny that it's like now it's like a whole weekend, whatever. But happy Father's Day if, we're celebrating and stuff like that, as always. What else is doing? So I had some funny, when I sit down to work on the computer or to, type up patterns, stuff like that, or edit a video, I always take kind of 5 minutes. No more than that. Try not to do any more than that. To play a little game or scroll on Instagram, but only 5 minutes. Just to kind of clear my brain a little bit, if that sounds So what I used to do was I used to sit and start checking my accounts, my emails and whatever and stuff. And then I would end up sitting there balancing the checkbook and paying bills and stuff like that. So I don't do that anymore because that has its own time slot. So, but I saw this post with this this girl on Instagram, and she's got yarn and she's got a crochet hook, and it was, what are you knitting? And I thought that was so funny, and I just couldn't resist, because when you crochet and stuff like that out in public and stuff, you always get that, what are you knitting? And so I've gotten that quite a bit. I've gotten, my grandma used to knit. And I'm like, well, that's nice. Thank you for sharing, stuff like that and everything. And then sometimes you get an audience. A few months back, I was in the doctor's office. I was in the waiting room waiting for my husband to come out. And the whole waiting room was empty. I was the only one sitting there. And there had to be 30 plus chairs in this one waiting area. And everyone, 4 different people, this couple came in and they sat down across from me. There was 4 empty chairs. And they sat down across from me and were watching me crochet. And then somebody else came in and they checked in and they sat down across from me. And I was like, oh, I got a whole audience going. I said, this is just so funny, So then one that I wanted to share, which actually struck me godsmacked. What's the word? Speechless. You don't know, what to say when somebody says something, whatever. So a few years back, right after I made the Wonder Woman tutorial, I was talking to my friend about it, translating some of my patterns into Spanish, if she would help me. So, I'm talking about all this crochet, whatever, and all of a sudden her sister just says, do you get cold a lot? And I just was confused by the question. I just kind of sat, I just stood there and I was like, do I get cold a lot? What? And I didn't have an answer. I couldn't understand what she was saying. And I realized after she meant because I'm talking I'm crocheting, oh, I'm playing with yarn or whatever. So I guess the assumption is that I'm making blankets all the time, you know, which I'm not, you know. And everyone always thinks you're making a blanket. Whenever you're crocheting out in public, they're like, oh, are you making a baby blanket? Are you making a blanket? No. Blankets don't normally have like eyeballs and you know, and appendages and, and things like that. So I just thought that was so funny to me, and I wanted to share that because we've all gotten like, you know, whenever you crochet out in public, whatever, you know, you or knit out in public, you always get somebody once, you know, says something funny to you. So I thought that was just so funny. I was thinking, you know, it's funny, like I'll put little notes in my phone and I'll put little post-its and stuff like that, stuff that I want to like say and stuff that, you know, is going through my head and things like that. And then like I'll turn the camera on and I try and do these vlogs without cutting them. If you see like a cut in there, you know, where I had to clip something out or whatever, it's usually I was going to sneeze, cough, or started like crying, you know. So, or just, you know, got overwhelmed or something, you know. So that's like, because I think like when I turn the camera on, I have all these crazy thoughts. And more or less, if you think about it, like, you know, I'm sitting in a room talking to myself. And so I just think like, you know, well, you don't really get, how many second chances do you get in life? You know, so what you say is what you say. So I always think like what I say is what I say. And like, that's it. There's no take-backs. You can apologize all you want, but there's no take-backs. So, you know, like if a lot of like coughing whenever I'm sick and sneezing, and those are cuts in when I do these. And then like with my dog and everything and being very upset over that and everything. So, you know, those I had to like, you know, don't want to ugly cry, you know. I ugly cry enough. I don't want to ugly cry to anyone watching, you know. Because it's just, it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. And then, I don't know. I think that's where I'm at, really. You know, like, I'm stressing over the doctor, but not really. You know, I had to have tests run and everything. But, you know, it's so weird. Like, I used to get bad anxiety over it. And, like, you know, not sleep. And, oh, my God, I have to go for this test and this and that. And now I don't. What's going to be is what's going to be, you know, kind of thing. And I know that's, maybe that sounds like crazy, and how could I say, like, you know, but if I have if they call me and tell me, oh, you got to come in for this scan or this blood work or whatever, it's not like I can undo whatever I already did. I can't go and eat 20 salads and run, you know, 10 miles, you know, before I get there for the test. You know, what's there is there kind of a thing, you know, and go from there and stuff like that. So I think that's something that pops into my head because I guess because I'm waiting for test results and stuff like that. And I always make, you know, my family, we always have jokes. So a few years back, more than a few years back, my sister would start with the, that's what she said. So if you know what that is, like it turns silly things that you say, it kind of makes it like a naughty joke in a sense or whatever. And I had like a biopsy or whatever done, and the doctor's office is like the perfect place because they're always saying things that makes that statement like pop into your head. So the first last Wednesday when I was in the doctor's, so even with the raging headache, the doctor was saying stuff, and his surgical assistant, whatever she is, and his nurse, whatever, was saying stuff, and I'm kind of like giggling to myself in my head, and I'm just like, don't say it, you know, like I'm like, don't say it. He's got a scalpel in his hand, like I don't want to get cut or stabbed with you know, in anywhere that I'm gonna need later on, or to get home from there. You know what I mean? So the next day, so I totally controlled myself at the first doctor, and then the next day I had more biopsy stuff and everything, more medical stuff, and I couldn't help it. I just started like laughing, and I'm trying to laugh, and you know, and the nurse is like, she's like, oh honey, are you okay? And because she thought I was crying, and I was like, no, I'm laughing. I said, you wouldn't believe the jokes that are going through my head right now. And they're like, you know, and I come in the room with the nurse and two doctors. And they like, oh, you know, you can say, it's okay. You know, so I say this crazy joke and we all laugh, you know, and then I'm like, okay, phew, I got one out. All right. You know, the tension is better, you know, but it's so funny to me how I'm in the middle of, you know, more or less, I'm just laying there. They're the ones poking me with, you know, needles and scalpels and stuff, you know. But I just sit there and you know, I guess I unstress, like, you know, I calm myself by saying these crazy jokes in my head. Because if I say them out loud, I am afraid I'm going to accidentally get stabbed or, you know, accidentally get a, you know, a needle, when they do the lidocaine or whatever to numb the area. I'm like, oh, you know, if I need something to drive home, if I need my hands, please don't stab me there, you know, whatever it is. So I always just think that's so funny that I'm so, you know, thanks to my wacky family, I always have weird jokes floating around in my head. You know, at the most, like, oddest times, you know, when you shouldn't say, when you shouldn't say things, you know. So, but I just wanted to share that, I guess. This is number 22 on the vlog train, still going strong. Can't believe it's like 5-6 months of doing these, you know, so that's like crazy. So I'm proud of me with that, you know. I'm proud that I'm like, you know, no, am I up to speed? No, because life comes in and you got to put your stuff aside and you got to take care of the, you know, the super important stuff, you know. So that's where that's at. But thank you so much for watching. Check out, I'm going to be posting more tutorials and stuff like that, and more patterns and things like that. So come, you know, subscribe, thumbs up if you like my videos and stuff like that. Check out my Etsy's and things like that. And I'll be back real soon with my next tutorial. The one right after this will be a tutorial because I did the baby alive and I'm getting on that. That'll be out this weekend. So thank you so much for watching. As always, happy hooking because it keeps you off the streets and keeps you out of trouble. And I'll be back real soon. So have a super great day. Thank you so much. K. Jolie, Crochet Basics Preview Vlog, number 22 on the vlog train. Take care now. Ciao.